Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Krishna Mohanraj, Portfolio Manager at Diamond Hill Capital Management, to discuss international stock selection. It is great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Hi, Jill. Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
You got it. Given ongoing macroeconomic and market volatility in the U.S., why are international equities attractive for U.S. investors right now?
Bad headlines is where we find the best investment ideas. Macro uncertainty for stock pickers like us, it's all just opportunity. We don't fear it, we look forward to it. This is our 7th year running the international strategy at Diamond Hill, and we've seen our share. We've seen Brexit, trade wars, taper tantrum, COVID, followed by vaccine and recovery, Fed tightening, war. I mean, you name it, we've seen it. What's important though is during all this time, if you're a stock picker, with every bad headline, you made money investing in international stocks. So macro uncertainty is something we look forward to, not fear. Now, why are we excited about international? Simply because there are so many great businesses outside the US. See, today there's I would say, a complete lack of imagination in the way people invest in the US. Everyone piling up on a handful of US mega cap stocks, 7 or 8 stocks. They account for most of the interest and most of the headlines. That herd behavior is what makes international such a fabulous opportunity for us, because you have an abundance of high quality companies outside the US that don't get as much interest. And so if you're selective and can pick stocks, it's absolutely the best place to invest. And that's what's exciting for us.
Krishna, how does Diamond Hill approach international stock selection?
We are highly selective. The way we invest in international is the way you would curate any exclusive collection, by being brutally selective, investing only in the best. And in being selective, the true north for us is intrinsic value. So we want to buy good businesses run by excellent managers at a discount to intrinsic value, their true value, right? That search for intrinsic value drives everything that we do. So if you think about the process, what does it mean? It makes it very research driven. Our analysts spend 99% of their time following their curiosity and intuition to understand the intrinsic value of businesses. What does it mean for the portfolio? It makes it very selective, high active share, different from any international benchmark out there. It makes it low turnover because we're not looking to constantly trade in and out. So what you end up with is a very carefully curated portfolio of 45 stocks, a sliver, very narrow sliver of what's available in international markets. Why are we so selective? Because we believe that international benchmarks are bad, filled with so many mediocre businesses. And to your earlier question, if you worry about macro, why would you ever want to own an international index product, which gives you a piece of so many mediocre businesses, when you could be selective and own just the best? That's the core belief that drives Diamond Hill.
What's driving the interest in Japanese equities specifically? And then what's your outlook for investor interest in the second half of the year?
So we invest in companies, not countries. We're always looking for unique companies everywhere. And Japan, for sure, has many great companies. The big question in Japan has always been the attitude of management teams when it comes to shareholder alignment. In all these years, that has been the missing piece. Recently, we're seeing some signs that that is changing, capital allocation, simplifying corporate structures, returning excess capital back to shareholders. So you have reason to be more optimistic about the market. But ultimately, remember, we are investing in great companies, not the country. So what we're really focused on is what makes some Japanese companies exceptional. So they have this term monozukuri, which is a beautiful Japanese word that means the art of making things. It's a certain ethic of craftsmanship that's unique to Japan, hard to replicate. I'll give you an example. Think of Nintendo. It's characters from Super Mario to The Legend of Zelda. It's hardware from the Wii to the Switch. The uniqueness of that, those attributes are harder to replicate. And that makes the company sustainable, almost independent of what happens to the Japanese economy or the yen or the demographics in Japan. So we are thinking about the long term, and this is what we're looking for and keep finding in Japan.
And finally, what qualities are you looking for when evaluating an investment opportunity abroad? And what are some of your top international stock picks right now?
So we like to say no to a lot of ideas. International is a big pond. We are fishing only for the very best. And as I said, the way we manage our portfolio is how you would curate any exclusive collection by looking far and wide and being brutally selective. And thankfully, there are many, many great businesses outside the US. In fact, what's really interesting is that universe is growing over time. The number of listed companies inside the US is shrinking, while the number of listed companies outside the US is growing. In fact, just in the last couple of months, our team was out traveling in Japan, India, Mexico, and the Nordics, meeting with managements, visiting factories, stores, depots, all these markets teeming with opportunity, and many, many companies not very well understood. Take India, for example. India as a country weight in the benchmark, maybe only 3 or 4%, but it has over 6,000 listed companies. And in the last 2 decades, if you had ignored India, you would have missed out on so many good opportunities. So you want to look broadly, select carefully. You end up with many differentiated businesses. It could be anything from large global champions like a Diageo or a Nestle with their stable of brands, from Johnny Walker to Nespresso, or it could be hidden gems, right? We own a grocery retailer in Poland, a private retail bank in India, a financial conglomerate in Peru, all very different in flavor, size, geography, but each of them uniquely brilliant at what they do. And as investors, we get to benefit from that. And that's what's exciting for us.
All right, Krishna, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you, Jill.